JJ, can you just speak to Bronny in the last several weeks or months and kind of the development that gets to the point where, you know, it looks pretty comfortable out there, leads the team in scoring and assists, and just the kind of the growth that he's shown?
Yeah, we've obviously monitored him in the G and feel like he's, in those sort of end game situations, when he's gotten a chance to play with us, he's been really good. So not surprised by tonight. And I think his confidence is growing. You mentioned the word comfort. That's certainly there for him. And I think the next step is just becoming like an elite conditioned athlete. Because when he does that with his physical tools and just his burst and his handle, and we think he's going to be an above average to really good NBA shooter. He's gonna have a chance to really make an impact.
JJ, what do you take out of those 48 minutes minus what Mike just asked you about?
I think it probably reinforced some thoughts. We've been really, really good. It's weird. We've been really good with our greens. I think we started really doing it again in the New York game in the Garden, and for some reason, and maybe it's just not having full strength and playing guys that haven't been with us all year, but for some reason we haven't been able to execute that against Giannis. Their technique has just been god awful. No matter how many times we talk about it, show it, it just hasn't been there. Did it one time tonight. Cam forced a jump ball. Did it one time. Yay. So.
And if you'll entertain another Bronny question, I know how you feel generally about narrative, and I'm sure there will be a reaction to this in some ways, probably by some of us too. But how impressed have you been with just sort of his ability to kind of keep his head down and be about the work through all sorts of stuff that traditionally would never be thrown at a second round pick?
Yeah, I saw some video interviews that he did at the Combine in May, and obviously I was not the Lakers coach, just an NBA analyst and podcaster at the time. And I texted Bron, and I was like, man, Bronny has his head on straight, he gets it. And since day one, I've just been impressed with the person that he is, and to deal with, because of who his dad is, and just keep a level head about it and be a class act. Says a lot about him, says a lot about that family, and the way LeBron and Savannah have raised him. It was obvious to me from the moment, I started spending time with him on the court this summer. He was certainly going to be an NBA player, and I still believe that he'll be an NBA player.
JJ, once the games were rescheduled, this was obviously going to be the toughest stretch any team has gone through this season, just because you played 3 straight back-to-backs. Then you lose Rui and LeBron right before this stretch. You go 3-3, 2 of the games. You don't have forfeits of your starting lineup. How would you just assess the past 8 days and finally being on the other side of it?
You have to look at it big picture and feel good that you go 3-3 in this stretch, and it was going to be tough no matter what. With the added game, made it harder. I don't think the game that exists today in the NBA and the modern NBA player is I wouldn't be either if this was what I came up in and this was the game that I had to play every night. It's different than when I first started. it's just you're not built to play 6 games in 8 nights. The game doesn't allow you to play 6 games in 8 nights. It's just possible. That's why I don't think have 4 and 5 anymore. If they are, I mean, I lived through the lockout year. I somehow didn't miss a game till the very end because we had secured our seed. It was a road game in Memphis. Stan gave me the option, do you want to play all 66? And normally I would be like, yeah, I want to play. But then I was like, fuck no, dude. I just played 65 games in 92 days. Like, this is impossible. And it was an easier game to play then because there wasn't as much movement and there wasn't as much spacing and you didn't have to cover as much of the court. It's what our guys just went through. It's difficult. And the old heads are going to talk about how physical it was in the 80s and 90s, and that's fine. But, the level of physicality in our game and the way that the court has to be covered and all the movement, it's tough. And just glad to be on the other side of it. And hopefully, going forward, we are healthy and can make a push here.
First and foremost, just from tonight's standpoint, what can you guys take from a night like tonight?
You just got to play hard. Not really too much. We was down about 4 starters, so when these type of games, you just got to play as hard as you can. Win, lose, or draw, you just compete.
From a bigger kind of perspective, the 6 games in 8 days to now be on this side, what does it show about this group?
We just continue to fight, man. But that's rough for anybody. I mean, obviously we didn't have Brian for none of the games, so it's glad that he got the rest, that he got to get healthy. We had some guys sit out for the second game. Get those guys back in. I'm just glad we threw it.
Your first time around with the Lakers, Bronny's in high school. Tonight he scores 17 points, tied for the team lead in scoring. What's it been like for you to see his development?
He's a hard worker, man. We play a lot, stay ready a lot, and he shows that he's working on his game. He's getting better day by day. I'm proud of him just to go out there and make a name for himself. I think he's a great player and he got a great future.
To use JJ's words, he said that Bronny has to deal with a bunch of just based on who his father is. How have you seen the way he's handled that behind the scenes?
He's a calm, cool kid, man. He doesn't say much. He just comes to work. Obviously, he knows there's a lot of pressure on him. But, he doesn't let it faze him. He does a great job of just continue working and continue to come in. He always has a smile on his face. He always is ready to work. And, I'm proud of him for how he played tonight, and he has a bright future.
You were +7 tonight in a game you guys got beat pretty badly. I know you want to be out there all the time. What do you think you were able to show tonight? I'm just ready anytime. I think it's my 3rd game in I think 12 days or something like that. I didn't find out I was starting until later tonight. A lot of times people just automatically think you just can't play because you're not playing. But for me, the game is a lot easier because it's a lot younger. A lot of the younger guys don't know how to play, so it's easier to plug an older guy in to be able to just find the spots and talk my way through the game. I really can walk for real. If I was with better. The older players, it's just not as hard as it used to be.
Thanks, Keith.
Just the level of comfort that it looked like you had out there. How did you feel, and did any part of that come into from a mindset perspective as you were looking forward to the game, knowing you were going to play, and how would you say that evolved as the game went on?
Yeah, I mean, I say I've gained my confidence and gained my comfortability over just reps and getting out there and taking advantage of my opportunity if it's given. So just being ready at all times. I think that's the biggest thing for me, staying in the stay ready games and practice and stuff like that, and taking advantage like I did tonight. So yeah, it's been good for me so far.
JJ was talking to us about kind of seeing your growth, from the moment that actually going back before he was the coach of the Combine, he watched some video of you doing the interviews and he texted your dad about it. How would you kind of trace the evolution of you with JJ, kind of what he's told you from the first time you met you up to the point of like today and even kind of getting prepped for the game?
I'd say just all the coaches believing in me and continuing to, put that in my head that they believe in me and what I can do as a player. And, I was given an opportunity tonight to go, show them what I've been working on while I've been, sitting the bench in the G League, getting the reps and stuff like that. So, yeah, just constantly putting that in my head that, they believe in me and that I can contribute.
Bronny, what expectations did you put on yourself in, say, training camp and preseason, and how does that square up with where you are at now, 5 months into your rookie season?
I just say just going in and working as hard as I can. That's all I can do, just learn and, be open-minded every time I, come into work in the morning and, being that same, level-headed kid, just trying to get his work done. But also just, like I said, taking advantage of those reps so that I, can get and, yeah, just staying level-headed.
When we spoke with JJ just a few minutes ago, he acknowledged that there's a lot of stuff you've had to deal with just because of who your dad is, and I'm sure things you can understand more than I can speak on. Just how has it been balancing that, trying to deal with that noise, deal with what's said, deal with what's written, also just trying to focus on your game, on your development, like the things that you can control, I guess?
And just putting my head down and working. I feel like that's the only thing that I can control right now is going in every day and staying ready to play, staying ready to learn, getting the work in after hours, early mornings, stuff like that. Just all the controllables that I can, do myself. There's not really much I can do of random people talking about me, every day. So can't really do much about that. So I just, go in the gym and work, put my head down and try to get better every day.
Dan.
Bronny, a lot of times you mentioned that level-headedness. I'm sure that's handy when there's like negativity floating. Like there's going to be a lot of positivity, I would imagine, after today. Does that level-headedness have to show up in the same way when you get back to work tomorrow?
Yeah, for sure. Going in the gym tomorrow, we're ready to work as hard as I did yesterday. So same approach for every day that I go into my job. Yeah.
Bronny, what was this stretch like for you joining the team on the road in the Milwaukee, Denver back-to-back as part of this 6 games in 8-day stretch? JJ said doesn't feel like modern players should be playing this many, 3 consecutive back-to-backs, but just what are the last 8 days been like with for I guess for you personally, but also for the team?
Again, I think just taking advantages of my opportunity, whether that's given to me today or the game against Denver, just being ready. Again, the stay ready games at the gym, they prepare me to be confident in my play and what I do. So just keeping that same mindset of being ready and being confident in myself.